God's redirection is never random. It's always intentional. It's a divine redirection of a greater purpose ahead of you. Hey, what's good, everybody? This is the day that God has made, and God's made it with you in mind. Welcome to another episode of Turning Point with Heath. My name is Jermaine Heath. Listen, every Tuesday and Thursday, I want to walk with you, right? As you transition challenging moments in your life, faith, and leadership that impact you from being a successful person or a leader to a leader or person of significance. So, if you like this channel and you want more of this content, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button at the end of our episode. But also, I would like for you to post your thoughts, right? Put your thoughts in the chat section on how I can help you redefine those defining moments in your life that have the tendency to shape your life, faith, and leadership. Okay, so do that for me. Let's get into it today, guys. Listen, I love road trips. Have you ever taken a trip, right, where you're confident that the route that you are taking is the right one, only to discover that your GPS has rerouted you? I mean, that's annoying. That's annoying to me. I cringe on stuff like that. I mean, especially when you're trying to time yourself. You start asking yourself questions like, why the detour? You follow the direction. But as you follow the new directions, you discover something, that the original road was blocked. And the new route isn't only going to get you to your destination, but the view is better and the drive is much smoother. What actually was annoying ends up becoming an unexpected blessing to you. Well, life, faith, and leadership are a lot like that, right? We plan our steps, we set our goals, and we even map out our future. Then, without warning, God steps in and he redirects the whole situation. I mean, it can feel like rejection, it can feel like delay, or it can even feel like a confusing situation. But here's the truth. The truth is this: God's redirection is never random. It's always intentional. It's a divine redirection of a greater purpose ahead of you. Listen, Proverbs 16 verse 9 says this: in the heart, humans plan their course, but it's God that establishes their steps. See, you might have a plan, but God sees the entire picture. God knows what's ahead, the obstacle, the blessing, the opportunity that you don't even know to pray for yet. And sometimes the only way, y'all, that to get to the greater purpose that God has for us is to be rerouted. We don't like it, but it's necessary. And God's redirection isn't a punishment. It's actually preparation. See, God sees the full picture while we only see the trailer of the show. See, think about it. It's like Joseph in the Bible, right? God gave Joseph a dream in his teens of him becoming great. But the journey to that dream didn't make sense at first, right? He was sold into slavery by his own brothers. He was falsely accused by Potiphar's wife, and he was even thrown into prison. Now, slavery, being falsely accused and being thrown in prison doesn't seem like the ideal situation to be set up for greatness. It actually looked like Joseph's life was falling apart, right? But with every twist and turn, God was positioning Joseph for his ultimate purpose, which was what? To save an entire nation during a time of famine. See, what felt like a detour was actually a divine hookup for Joseph. Maybe, just maybe, you're in a season where God has rerouted your plans. The job you prayed for didn't come through, right? A relationship ended up unexpectedly or badly. Doors you were certain was going to be open, slammed in your face. In these moments, it's tempting to feel frustrated, and it's even tempting to want to question God about what in the world is going on. But let me remind you this: a closed door isn't a rejection, it's redirect. Here's what you can do when God redirects your steps. Okay? First thing you can do is this: pause and put trust into action. See, it's easy to panic when life doesn't go according to plan, right? But these are the moments where you lean into God's promises and follow direction. Isaiah 55 said it the best. This is one of my best verses. It says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are my ways your ways, declares the Lord. As high as the heavens are from the earth, so are my ways from your ways, and my thoughts from your thoughts. In other words, trust that God is working behind the scenes, that He's planning something better than you could ever imagine. But then, two, I want you to ask God, what is He teaching you in this season of your life? See, redirect often comes with lessons to learn, to be learned. Is God building your patience? Is He strengthening your faith? Or is He preparing you for greater responsibility? For the growth opportunity in the midst of change, there has to be redirect. Third, stay faithful to where you are. Even if it feels like you're in a holding pattern, God honors your faithfulness. How do I know? Joseph served faithful, right? In every season of his life, whether he was in Potiphar's house or whether he was in prison. And at just that right time, at the right moment, God elevated him to the position he was destined for. But he wouldn't have gotten there if he wasn't faithful. But then lastly, celebrate your journey. In other words, look back on how God has been faithful to you in the past. Why? Because gratitude keeps your heart open to new possibilities and blessings that God's preparing for you. See, remember this, y'all. What feels like a detour is often God setting you up for something far greater than what you can ever plan or that you even can imagine, right? God is the ultimate GPS. He guides us, He protects us, He leads us forward to where He wants us to be. His perfect purpose, right? And so when God redirects your steps, don't resist it, trust Him and follow Him and watch God work all things out for your good and for His glory. Listen, y'all, I hope that today was not only encouraging, but it was also enlightening and it caused you to think about the season that you're in right now. I want you to trust God and I want you to follow through on what God has told you to do, even when He redirects your steps.